I get a lot of people asking me how we were blessed to walk away from corporate America in our early 30s. Well, listen, I don't want to keep that a secret. I want to share it with the world. And so maybe you're listening to this podcast and you're trying to figure out, how do I even get started on my journey of entrepreneurship and getting to a level of freedom? Well, text the word freedom to 737-777 9909. Enter your information in, and we look forward to sharing some information with you. A proven system with small overhead, right? That you can do part-time, spare time, right from the comfort of your home, and have amazing mentors, coaches, and a community of entrepreneurs who are willing to support you and help you on your journey to freedom. Welcome to Code Freedom. I'm your host, Eddie Bales. Have you ever felt stuck? Have you ever felt like there's got to be more than life than the reality that you see every day? Tune in weekly, Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Saturdays as we crack the codes to freedom in every area of your life. I'm so excited and fortunate to be able to interview my great friend. We go way back, Mr. Tay Nelson. And Tay Nelson is owner of Bobby's Barbecue in Fountain Inn, South Carolina. He fell in love with Texas-style barbecue in 2014 and taught himself how to smoke meat by watching multitudes of YouTube videos, seeking guidance from the greats, and traveling to visit some of the best barbecue spots in Texas. In 2018, Tay and his wife Sarah opened up Bobby's Barbecue. While his restaurant is flourishing and has gained the attention of both local and national media, including YouTube, Google, Forbes, The Tamron Hall Show, ABC News, and Reader's Digest, Tay has realized that his real passion lies in both educating and motivating people. Tay's previous speaking engagements include Google, Advoco Incorporated, Cisco Systems, Microsoft, Greenville County Schools, and the South Carolina prison system. In fact, we were watching TV the other day, and there goes Tay Nelson on TV on a commercial. Please help me welcome my good friend, Mr. Tay Nelson. All right, well, welcome to Code Freedom. This is Eddie Bales, your host, and I'm so excited about episode 134 because I have my really good friend from a long time ago. How long has it been, Mr. Nelson?
I would say since 2009, I would think, 2010.
Yeah.
I mean, it's about 11, 12 years, something like that.
Well, you know what? My wife and I, we've been married for 11 years, and I've been in South Carolina for about 11 years. So let's say 11, right?
11, let's do it.
Yeah. So, but man, we go way back, and it's just been quite an interesting journey, and it's been exciting at the same time. And so I have my good friend, Tay Nelson. You prefer to go by Tay Nelson, right?
Right, Tay. Yes, sir.
Okay, good. Well, hey, listen, this gentleman, you already heard the bio, but he's doing some incredible things. And I remember when he first started, and that's the thing I like about, the title of this message today is Your Gift Will Make Room for You, because we all have a gift. And if we use that gift and work that gift, it's going to allow us to do some amazing things. And it may not start off how you want it to start. I mean, I guess I'm already preaching, right? But if you just keep going on with it, and that's why I just love talking to people like you, because you have like shown and proven that if you just stick with it and just believe in what you have, then you're going to have success. So let me start off by asking you, what made you get into cooking and creating in the kitchen?
Well, it started out as a kid, just being around my late dad, who was a great cook, my aunts, my grandmamas, and my mom. But that was just for fun. And even with my late dad had a restaurant, we started working with him at the age of 12, just washing dishes. And by the time I got in high school, I was in the summer times I lived there, and then after school I lived there. But that was it. But the truth be told, man, I ran from it when I became an adult. But in between jobs or just whatever, what young adults do, I'll end up cooking in between time. So I guess I should have saw the writing on the wall then, but God has his way of doing things.
Absolutely. Good stuff. Well, who would you say in the beginning days influenced you most when it came to cooking?
Well, I think when I realized I wanted to really pay a little more attention to it was like 2009, while I was going to ECPI for electronics engineering technology. I had to write this paper, a 5-page paper, and I never wrote a 5-page paper in my life. And it had to be about the field I was graduating to go into. And I couldn't think of anything. And right before graduation, my teacher like, you got to write something. If not, you're not gonna walk. I mean, you passed, but you got to write this paper. So she was like, I don't care what you write about. And I wrote about my late father, the late Anthony Bourdain and Andrew Zimmerman. So when I finished writing that paper, she was like, you know, you went to school for the wrong thing. And I was like, I guess you got a point. Then the next following year, I came out with the Bobby's All-Purpose Seasoning. And that was more like a tribute to my late dad, my late brother, but I still didn't see it then. But that was like my heavy influences and everybody else, like my grandparents and stuff along the way and old neighbors. But that's really hit me hard.
Absolutely. And you started out with the seasoning, and I always loved that seasoning because it didn't have a lot of sodium in it. And
Right.
and I was always looking for something because we gotta be looking at our blood pressure we get older, you know what I mean? So I was always excited about that part of it. And I just remember when you were getting it was in Whole Foods at the time, and you were getting it into other places, and you were looking for more funding and things to really expand it and grow it. Have you always saw yourself having a restaurant? Was that always like a dream or the goal?
No, it was not. That was the last thing I wanted. Me and my late brother made a promise we would never do this just because how my pop was. He was no joke. But again, it's just I always daydream about being in business, but never nothing focused. I didn't have a problem going to work a 9 to 5. I had no problem with it. Man, I watched my late father go through so much headache. I saw some great moments in his restaurant, but I saw headache with employees, with supplies, with landlords and stuff. So that was like, nah, they can have this, man. Like I was more supportive of him towards the end of his career with that, but never a restaurant. I'm not gonna lie. And then when I fell in love with barbecue, I thought that was it, but I just realized much as I love barbecue and I love food, I realize I love people much more. And I think that's what God gave me that vehicle to love on people because that's what I enjoy the most. That's stuff that comes easy. Just loving on people, talking to people, hearing people's stuff. My wife told me the other day, she said, you make everybody feel special and important. And I said, 'Cause that's the truth. I mean, if it's for a couple minutes while you're in line, or if it's every week or once a month, whatever, I try to just respect those boundaries and that time frame I have and make the most out of it. And I just try to give people what I need in return. So
Absolutely. And that's how I met you actually, is we were serving in outreach. And
exactly.
like every Saturday, we both showed up and we were ready to serve. We weren't getting paid for it. We just had our heart to serve people and serve God. And that's one thing that I admire about you, is that you have such a giving and a generous spirit and a servant's heart. So that it's so interesting that you say that, because it's way sometimes our gift is way bigger than what we actually do, but it's who we impact on the other end of it. You know what I mean?
Oh yes, because when I met you back then, you and your wife, man, like I was looking up to y'all as my heroes. I mean, I look up to you now, but back then, dude, I was broken. I was broken spiritually, mentally, financially, and I just didn't go around talking about it like a lot of people do. I just prayed, showed up, and just put my head down, went to work, and just tried to figure it out as I go. But it was God all along. And I mean, I look back on that, it's like it was all training ground. Like I feel like he has paths for us. It's what we do with him. Even if we make a mistake, he might change the destination. But man, I needed that so much looking back because what they did by serving with y'all, and y'all loved them, and everybody did. They loved them and met me where I was at in life, and it gave me purpose. It gave me. I was just dumping the trash can, or folding tables, or saying a prayer before we went there and fed the people in the homeless ministry, and it's just seeing y'all, and everybody had one goal, that was to serve God and Jesus with our talents. And no matter how much you made and what kind of car you drive, y'all all loved on me. So that's something I always hold near and dear. And I try to return that now when I'm dealing with people. Just meet them where they're at and just love on them.
Absolutely. I love it. I love it, man. Well, obviously you've had major success now. And, if you could go back and counsel yourself, what would you tell yourself in the early days?
Oh man, you know what? I asked myself that question a lot. And the reason why, because and try to keep this short answers. I try to live in regret. I used to beat myself up for poor choices I made or poor relationships I stayed in longer, but you can't. You have to. I learned it from listening to Michael Jordan, Kobe, even people like Eric Thomas and Inky Johnson's other people. So now as I move past that, what I would tell my younger self is be patient. No matter what you're going through right now, it's a small window in life. Don't make rash decisions. Don't make bad relationships, and just ride it out. Like focus on what's in front of you and be patient. And also learn to love yourself and get to know yourself better. That way, that way you don't do stuff out of desperation, or you can see the traps and the devious people that you encounter in life. You can avoid a lot of those pitfalls, because a lot of times we don't know who we are, and I think we're always gonna grow learning who we are, because we're gonna get older and life's gonna change. But just getting to be patient with ourselves, grace and mercy with ourselves, and just learn to love ourselves and get to know ourselves. Like, who am I? Because me personally, I grew up rough. So I've been in survival mode all my life, and you pick up good survival habits, you pick up bad survival habits, and you make poor relationships. But sometimes you have to go through to learn. But I would tell my younger self that a lot. And of all the things that pop in my mind, those are a couple of things that stick out. Be patient, give yourself grace and mercy, and just get to know who you are. Who is Tay? What are the things you like? What things you don't like? And that way, as you meet your significant other relationships, you can learn how to deal with things better. You won't take things personal. You won't assume. You can see a lot of writing on the wall and stuff. And God has allowed me to see that as I reflect in life. So when things don't go the way it's planned, I don't take it personal. I have learned to love rejection, even though it's never easy. Um, and just keep it moving, man. Just trust God. Like, if it's His will, it will be done. And even if He didn't cause the bad things in my life, He allowed it to happen. So what can I learn from this? So
Yeah,
that's the
absolutely.
things I
You
hold
know,
dear to me.
that's key because if you didn't go through all those things you went through, you wouldn't be who you are right now. Right?
Exactly. And that
Like
took a
like
long time for me to get, like, for real.
yeah, all that had to happen for you to get here to this place. And
I think the only thing that was cool about that, I never pointed the finger at anyone. I never blamed anyone. I always took self responsibility. And that's one thing we got when we was up under teaching when we met at the church at the time, was being hold yourself accountable, looking the person in the mirror, and that helped me heal too. Because it was so quick to blame somebody else, or woulda, shoulda, coulda. But still, I beat myself up so bad, not intentionally. I'm like, man, I hate I did this mistake. I wish I wouldn't have done that. I wish I wouldn't have got tired of this group of people. And I was just so hard on myself. And I mean, I think I'm gotten past that a great bit now at 41 years, about to be 42 next month, man. And I just thank God for it and the people He put around me, like yourself and others.
good stuff. My birthday is next month as well. You a Capricorn?
Yes, I think we close together. If not, me and you, or me and your wife, because mine January 11th.
Yeah. So my wife is the 11th and mine's the
Yeah,
14th.
yeah, I knew we was close together right there. I thought it was cool when I found out about y'all.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's good stuff. Good
yeah,
stuff. And you said something else that was really key too, is that sometimes we're looking at the chapter or the paragraph, but we don't realize that we're just on a small part of the book, right?
yes,
And we think we're going to be in this chapter forever, but we might be in our peak season. But I learned, even this weekend, I learned that this is a seed. You could be in a seed sowing season, and the harvest season is coming, but you just got to be sowing those seeds right now.
yes,
So I love what you said about that. That's something that I had to work on too, is being patient, because I'm like, I want it right now, right now, right now, and I'm doing all the work, but I want it right now, and you just got to keep doing the work until you get there. So
yes, yes. Yeah, me to the words out of my mouth. Yes, you said it right. And because you're trying, you're trying. Sometimes it just takes time, and some things don't work out, but you still learn from. Because I thought my seasoning business was a failure, to be honest, based on the expectations I had. But look at it now, everything came from that one bottle. I learned so much from that one bottle. And God used it for training ground. That's something, as lady Pastor Jen always said, use what you got in your hand. And that's
right.
something I always hold near and dear. And anything else I done glean while I was out here in this world.
Absolutely. Absolutely. What would you tell people who have a dream and they're finding it difficult to make it happen? What are some things that you would tell them since you've gone through that?
What I would tell people who have a dream and is having difficulty making it happen or just starting it out, my first question I would ask them, why are you doing it? If you can't answer that question without hesitation, then that's not what you should be doing. Now they don't discredit what you are doing because I don't think nothing is wasted. You know, like Romans 8:28, like everything's gonna work out for you. But why are you doing it? And on top of that, realize it's gonna cost you everything. When you're doing something, that foundation is important. You have to limit distractions. At your day, if it's God or family or work, any extra time should be going towards that, and not to the point that being busy don't mean you're productive, but are you being effective? Because sometimes you can hit a brick wall and you just pause. That's that be still moment. But then a thought will come up, jot stuff down, and then another thing I would tell people that I'm learning that the company you keep, from family to friends, what you watch on TV, the music listen to. I still love my hip hop, but for a couple of years, I quit listening to that because I feel like it was distracting me. I thought maybe God might have been pulling on me about certain things I was listening to. But the things from what I'm learning now is I try to lose weight. What are you eating? Is they gonna help you get towards your goals? What are you listening to? The people you're around. Now, that's not saying you can't always be trying to take. It's a give and take in this relationship. But the things are feeding you, pushing you, constructive criticism, but is it helping you get towards your goal or back? But as for starting a business or taking on a new job or something, count the cost. Look, do your research, look into it, make sure it's something people want. And on top of that, you got to be able to be honest with yourself. So I'm in the food business. If 10 people eat my food and 7 say they don't like it, if it's all for the same reason, I'm gonna change that no matter how hard I worked at it. If I give it to 10 people and 7 people say they don't like it, but it's all different things, and I'm gonna say, okay, that's life, because you can't chase it. So do your homework, do your research, count the cost. It's gonna cost you everything. Make sure you got a good support system. You don't need about 1 or 2 people, but in the day, you gotta believe in yourself the most. But you're gonna need some people who gonna encourage you, but also be honest with you that you trust. And if not, God is seeing the people. And make sure this is something you really want to do. Like, so when I walked in those banks, we got a lot of rejection. We had a beautiful business plan. A gentleman did the banks was like, if you get this guy to do your business plan, we'll talk to you. And thank God we had that person already as a brother to us. But it's like an elevator speech. You got to interview. They got to feel that passion, that emotion, that intelligence of what you do know and what you don't know. Go get those answers. And the beautiful thing about business now, you got a lot of workshops out here. You got so much on the internet that's positive and some stuff that's dangerous. I would say past difficult, but get these workshops. You got score.org. You have stuff with the SBA, like workshops they have, the Small Business Development Center. There's so much stuff, resources. And like you said earlier about being patient, surround yourself around the right people. Answer the question what you don't know, and what you don't know, say you don't. Oh, and one other thing I would tell you, if you ever blessed to be around somebody or in the shoes that you want to be in, don't start off about success. Everybody knows what success is like. Ask them the question you asked me, if you could do it over, what would you do over? And ask about the hard times. And also, if a person is talking to you, don't interrupt them by telling them about what you do know, or like you comparing and compete. It's the reason why you ask the business person company. Take your notes, write it down, record it if they'll allow you to, and listen. If you have to cover your mouth, listen, because this person has been where you at. You're trying to get where they're going. And just because it doesn't work, the advice they give you, try anyway, because they took the time to share that with you, and go and see what happens. And that's how you build meaningful relationships, but don't smother them, because I made that mistake in the beginning because I ain't know any better. And you get depending on man and woman instead of depending on God. But God will show you how to work through that. A lot of information, and I hope I answered your question. But the reason why, did you do your research, make sure some people really want, and also business plan is important. I didn't do it with the seasoning, and I can look back and see how I could have done that better because I had the capital to do it. But with this restaurant, I had to have it. And that's something very important. It's a lot of legwork. The gift, what you do is easy, and the business part is the hard part, but you got to have both to get there. If not, you got to pay somebody to do it for you. You're going to pay dearly in failure. So, and a lot of times you don't learn a lesson because you're just so scattered everywhere.
Wow, you dropped so many jewels in that little bit of time. And it's interesting because, you made a good point. You have a gift, but you're still going to have to do things that you don't want to do. Even in what I do, there are things that I don't want to do every day. Like for me, I don't like to acquire the customers or acquire the people that I'm going to work with, but I love to work with the people once we have them. You know what I mean? So there's always some give and take. There's always something you have to do that you don't like, so you can get to do the thing that you really love to do. And I think that's a great point that you mentioned.
Yes. And
Yeah,
find something that you love out of it. Because I don't love everything about cooking, but I just focus on that. And that's something I've done in the past with dead end jobs because I still had to make that paycheck. So
yeah, absolutely. Do you have like a certain vision that you see for the next 5 to 10 years?
I used to get out there, but now I try to live in the moment and just focus on the Lord. Because me, I mean, from you know me, man, I can
Yeah.
get way out there. What I would love to do, we got tons of opportunity to open up another restaurant. With other people involved. Even my wife can more like we can do it ourselves, but it would be a little strain financially, but we can make it happen. I just want what God wants from me. I got a few irons in the fire. The season is where it started from. I have visions of that being on a larger scale, like Lowry's or Mrs. Dash. No knock to them. Like you say, our product is different. I stand behind it. I believe in it. To get it in more people's hands. Also, other than adding more restaurants, I think that's the easy choice. Is developing people. From people who've been incarcerated to people who want second chances, just people didn't know they had a love for cooking in them. From people in school, like I said, people from prison systems to people in school to people who just didn't know and just and learn from people. I think for me, as being a communicator, is learning to listen better and just understand we're listening together. How can I bridge the gap to break down stereotypes or just education? I think a lot of people who don't look like us don't know us because we don't conversate. But a lot of people who do look like us don't know the possibilities out there. You don't have to be a NBA player, a sports athlete, or entertainer. You don't have to be a motivation speaker. You can make tons of money being a plumber, or doing construction, or doing food. I mean, you can do a lot of stuff. A brick mason, like robots ain't took those jobs yet. It's a great need for quality work, and being and having good character and integrity. It's a lot out here. If you don't make it to the league, you can be a coach, you can be executive. So the sky's the limit, and let people know it's more out there. And just because you are blessed with something, you still gotta do the work. And a lot of people don't know that. And a lot of people, you gotta break down barriers too, because everybody see is competition. I couldn't feed everybody on our street, and unless everybody in our town or our county. So a lot of times it's partnering up and building good relationships. So to answer the question, where I see myself 5 or 10 years, I have a lot of goals, a lot of dreams, but I just want to be walking with the Lord, man. And I can say that more and more now because I say this all the time. Anytime before I do something, and I say it multiple times, God, if it's not your will, don't let me do it. I don't care what's the price tag on it. I don't care this and that. And I'm trying to find balance in my life. At 41, about to be 42, um, I'm trying to find more balance. Now, you can't be at home and make money either. I mean, you can, but what they say, you can't be out there busting your butt and be at home at the same time. You got to give up something. So finding that balance, because I have young kids too. So I think it's time I have to invest in them as well to give them what they need. So finding balance, following the Lord, and just enjoying the ride, man, because this can get very intense at times and stressful.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. Well, you couldn't have answered that question better because, um, you know, they say if you want to make God laugh, tell him your plans.
And
And
they laughed at me a lot of times.
yeah, we're good at making plans, but we should seek him first and find out if our plans line up with his plans and make sure we know what his plans are for our lives first, and then it'll always be blessed. Because he said he'll bless the work of our hands, but we gotta make sure
Yes.
our plan lines up with his plan. Yeah. So you come a long way, of course, and you've done very well for yourself. How are things different for you and your family now, in terms of like the fact that you're not walking in your purpose compared to where it was back in the day?
Wow, man. Wow. Sometimes it's too good to be true. Sometimes it seems like a dream. Sometimes I'm like, God, you about to come and get me? Like everything going great. It humbles you, man. I don't care how much praise we get. I don't care how much people talk down about something that we might do. It humbles you because you can sell water to a well. You can mislead people. You can ear hustle people. But one thing about it, you know the truth. And when you know the truth, it humbles you. Never boast or brag. You can be courageous. You can be confident in what you're doing. But when you know the truth, you know how far you came, it humbles you. For me to be able to provide for my children, our children, me and my wife, and provide jobs for others, this wasn't part of the plan. I didn't see this. So if I was this smart, not saying I'm dumb, but if I was this smart, I'd done this 20 years ago. I've been doing it when I met you. But the fact that God has allowed me to do this, it really makes me slow down, man. It makes me count my blessings. And that's why I made the comment I made earlier. What do God want me to do? Because what happened with success, it can mess you up because then you try to take over. You try to be in control. Now he says be wise, but don't be wise in your own eyes. He said be wise in the serpent, gentle as the dove. And the reason why we use Bible references of me because that's my foundation, dude. I was broken. I just told you that earlier. So that's all I got to go off of. If you want more than that, I don't know what to tell you because I get these interviews sometimes. People kind of get disappointed in my answers. So to be able to go do these things or help our kid with school, I got a child that has ADHD, has dyslexia, and I'm not ashamed about it. To be able to get the help she needs, that's it gets me emotional because I thank God for it because when you first get these things across your plate, it's easy to have to write a check for it and make it happen. When you just can't write a check for it, and you have to go back on faith. I can go back on those hard times when I went through with nothing but me and God and trust Him on us. And if it doesn't work out, I know He's gonna work it out somewhere else. So for me to have that peace of mind to make sure the lights on, know the lights gonna be on, food gonna be on the table, roof above our head, I'm good. So I don't care if it's a one room shack to a mansion, I'm good. And anything I do have extra, do I really need that much? Or who can I help along the way? So to be in this position that I wasn't when we first met, I'm just so humble. I'm so cool. And a lot of times it's hard to receive your flowers because I'm trying to give them away because that's just how I'm wired, man. You can't keep it all anyway. He wants us to be good stewards of it, but you can't keep it, man. I mean, it's just humble, man. If you we shared a lot, but if you just knew me from a kid to before we met, man, God been good to me, man. So I'm thankful. I'm thankful. And me and my wife was talking about the other day about when we get to like if we blessed to live long, when we get to 65 or 7 living in a retirement community, man, I could never imagine that. If everything works out the way we plan it. Most people when I grew up live with their kids or their grandkids. And you was left in the back to fend for yourself for the most part. So to have these conversations, man, it's pretty cool, man. Just a dream and see what happens.
Yeah, I love your spirit. I love your humbleness, and I love all your answers. So whatever anyone else had to say about it, hey, don't worry about it. I love your answers, and you're just doing an amazing job in the community with your family. And hey, your daughter. I know people who have the same thing who are doing very well. So
Yeah.
it can turn out to be their superpower in the end,
Yes.
for sure. So I'm just excited for you guys. And is there any last thing you want to add, just to wrap it up? And
Um,
also, how can people connect with you?
well, first of all, you can go to eatbibles.com. That's our website. We have our links there for like if you want to send an email, if you just want to see what we got going on, buy some seasoning, or just might see something that might encourage you for some of the press release. Our restaurants in Fountain Inn, South Carolina, 1301 North Main Street. We open Thursday, Friday, and Saturday from 11 to 8. And other than that, for me personally, just keep learning, keep having fun, know why you're getting into stuff, and just don't take stuff so personal. Don't be so hard on yourself and love what you do. And I'm realizing people say when you love what you do, it's not work. I used to believe it and I was like, no, that's lies. But no, you're gonna have friction, you're gonna have some rough patches, but when you in that element in your gift, or like the streets say in your bag, make sure it's a good bag, it flows, man. It comes easy. And you can be easily corrected. So work on making meaningful relationships that don't happen overnight, genuine relationships. Be honest with yourself and keep learning and find balance in your life. And don't be quick to give up when things don't work its way out. But if you're trying over and over and it ain't working, you're hitting brick walls, try something different. And then it might be no, it might be not now. But keep going because, like you said earlier, faith without works is dead. And keep going. But enjoy what you're doing, and gotta start showing what you're supposed to be doing. Because again, I ran from this. I tried everything but this, and I start seeing the writing on the wall. And God, I had to get my limp. I feel like Jonah in the well. I feel like I forgot his name, but would wrestle with God. They had the limp. So it's just amazing though, and have fun. I can say that over and over because my wife tell me that anytime I go out of town or anytime I go to a meeting or something, go have fun because she say you're too serious. And I think a lot of that comes just from my past, but I'm working on it. And also, if you need help in something, go get it. If it's just from a good friend, if it's counseling, go get it. Don't lie to yourself. Don't make excuses, but don't lie to yourself. But enjoy it, and you'll thank yourself later. You'll thank your kids will thank you, your wife will thank you, your friends will thank you, and just one lasting thing that so many people destiny are tied to one person's obedience. I had a guy stop me the other day. I went to go pay a visit. And he said, "Man, you helped me get through this year just watching you on social media." Man, that almost brought me to tears, man. And his wife was like, "Yeah, he's telling the truth. You don't know who you inspire, even when you get knocked down." Even when you get knocked down, like Denzel Washington say, you fall down, get back up, fall forward, because people can see what you're going to do. Or even we had hard times with the city and stuff, and we didn't give up. And you tell a person, I kept my faith, and that's all I had to hold on to. You don't know who you encouraging, even in the ups, but even in the downs, and just go from there. I know that's a lot, but just know that sky's the limit. People got great resources. They just hold on to it, man, and run with it and see what happens. Sky's the limit.
Thank you so much. I appreciate you gave so much value, and I know the audience is going to be excited to hear it. I'm excited for them to hear it. So thank you so much for all that you do, and much success to you and your family.
Yeah, and keep up the great work, man. You've been inspiring me for day one, and keep going, man. Keep going. And that's all I can say. You're doing great. Keep going though, because some days when times are rough for me, all days are good days. When they're a little more challenging, I might see something you're doing and you put a lot of positive stuff out there. You ain't out there just smoking mirrors and just talking. Your stuff has substance to it. So keep that up. That integrity, that character you always have showed and display, and your faith too, because you done jumped out the boat and walked with Jesus on the water, man, when you left corporate America. So keep doing what you're doing, man, because you're inspiring me. So that's what it's all about.
Absolutely. We inspire each other, man.
Yes, sir. Iron sharpen iron.
There you go. All right. Well, hey, this is another episode of Code Freedom. Definitely share it with as many friends as you can. And we're excited about the next episode. God bless you all. Take care.
God bless. Thank you.
Thanks for tuning in. Appreciate you guys for listening. Definitely feel free to take a screenshot of this episode, tag me in it on Instagram or Facebook or wherever you find me on social media. I would love to give you a shout out. Hey, you might even get a prize. Who knows? But excited that you had a chance to take a listen. I hope you got a lot of value. And definitely feel free to give us 5 stars as well as a review. Show us some love, and we appreciate you. God bless you all, and see you all over the top.